Hello and welcome to the newest edition of Molecule Discovery. Here we have two elephants fighting it out and, oh, we're not doing it on elephants? Well, if you look at that in the distance, here we have the common green bean plant. Now, you might be wondering, why is a green bean plant in front of my screen? Well, allow my fellow colleague to explain.
Hello, my name is Shihhong and I will present the history of traumatic acid. Traumatic acid is a wound hormone that can provoke plant cells to grow and divide upon injury. The concept of a wound hormone was first introduced by Wisner and later on supported by experiments done by Haberland. Haberland created a classic potato experiment reveals that the combination of a phloem hormone and wound hormone can together provoke cell divisions. Many experiments later on suggest that a 12-carbon chain with a carboxyl group could be required for recognition of a compound as a wound hormone. Those include traumatic acid, trans-10-ODA, lauric acid, jasmonic acid, and abscisic acid are shown on the right side. In 1938, James English and James Bonner discovered a substance in the bean extract that can provoke plant cell divisions by using the bean test. The bean test is a quantitative bioassay by measuring the growth of intumescence, as circled in the red on the left, with a negative control sample right above it. They named that substance traumatic acid, but the structure was not known at that time. And 1 year after, they discovered the structures of traumatic acid and proposed a synthetic pathway as well. About 40 years after, Zimmerman and his colleagues showed a different result. They did not find any traumatic acid in the beans. Instead, they found a product called trans-10-ODA. They repeat the bean test and show both trans-10-ODA and traumatic acids can provoke cell divisions. Zimmerman therefore hypothesized that traumatic acid might be an oxidational product from trans-10-ODA because traumatic acid was found in the bean extracts when the special precautions were not taken to prevent oxidations, and there's no enzyme seems to have the ability to oxidize trans-10-ODA to traumatic acid in the beans. Although there's very limited studies on the mechanism of how traumatic acids stimulate plant cell divisions, there's some potential application of traumatic acids on treating human disease, those including treating breast cancer, skin wounds, and sarcopenia, which my teammate will be explaining later.
And now a quick demonstration by Shihhong and his twin brother on traumatic acid. It looks like a wound with a sharp object is currently being applied and, oh no, bean number 2 has gone away. But wait, there seems to be something bean number 1 is producing and whoa, bean number 2 came out of nowhere. What an amazing mechanism. And now onto the relationship between traumatic acid and breast cancer.
Nowadays, many anti-cancer drugs have been used in the treatment of cancer. These effective drugs obtained by chemical synthesis have several major drawbacks, such as cumulative toxicity and inherent or treatment-induced resistance. This produces a need for safer and more powerful anti-cancer drugs. Luckily, a variety of natural sources have been proved to provide potential anti-cancer agents. Traumatic acid is a molecule isolated from bean plants, which provides potential anti-cancer effects. In recent studies, traumatic acid is observed to cause a significant decrease in breast cancer cells and increase in healthy cells. But the mechanism in molecular level is still unknown and needs further research. Does this mean we can't get any insight about how traumatic acid work? The answer is no. Unsaturated fatty acids and their derivatives can be used as a reference to study the impact of traumatic acid on tumor and normal cells. A good example is DHA. Traumatic acid and DHA are both polyunsaturated fatty acids, and their molecular structure looks similar. All molecules with similar structures may have similar functional groups or chemical properties, which which can lead to similar interactions with biological targets in the body. Moreover, several studies shows that the additive interaction of DHA with anti-cancer drugs enhance the performance of drugs. The possible mechanism of DHA's anti-cancer effect could be apoptosis or cell death in cancer cells, and the possible reaction which causes apoptosis is lipid peroxidation. Lipid peroxidation is a process that occurs in cells when reactive oxygen species react with polyunsaturated fatty acids in cellular membranes, leading to formation of radicals and lipid hydroperoxides. This can cause damage to cell membranes and disrupt their normal functions. As a member of polyunsaturated fatty acid, traumatic acid is observed to show pro-apoptotic properties. Traumatic acid treatment causes protein damage, which occurs immediately after lipid peroxidation. Lipid peroxidation products may cause cellular protein damage. The upturn results lead us to hypothesis that traumatic acid-induced protein damage could be responsible for apoptotic cell death.
A study on diabetic mice being treated with a gel containing traumatic acid has shown to have positive effects on wounds like skin ulcerations. This is valuable because one of the severe complications associated with diabetes is impaired wound healing. The healing process for wounds typically develops through 3 stages. 1, an inflammatory phase where platelets are activated and cytokines, growth factors, and leukocytes migrate to the wound point. 2, a proliferative phase where there's an increase in the proliferation of the keratinocytes, fibroblasts, and endothelial cells in the wound, leading to reepithelialization and granulation tissue formation. And finally, 3, a remodeling phase where new tissue gradually becomes stronger and more flexible. A new drug, Nevamest, has been formulated as an isosmic hydrophilic gel and consists of 2% atomidrol and 1% transtraumatic acid. The presence of transtraumatic acid favors the natural reepithelialization process and the creation of a barrier, which lessens the risk of the wound being infected.
Sarcopenia is the age-related involuntary loss of skeletal muscle mass and strength, and studies are currently being done to see if they can slow down the process. Well, what if I told you that traumatic acid could participate in detecting sarcopenia through the process of what we called metabolomics? Metabolomics is the large-scale study of small molecules, commonly known as metabolites. Collectively, these small molecules and their interactions within a biological system are known as the metabolome. Exogenous metabolism can produce traumatic acid as a metabolite, which means that using the practice of metabolomics, scientists are able to figure out a correlation between traumatic acid and patients with sarcopenia symptoms. In the experiment, blood samples were taken from each patient and ran under LCMS to analyze the peaks of many metabolites. Out of 242 metabolites in study, they concluded that there were higher intensity spikes on patients that presented symptoms of sarcopenia versus those that did not. It was also revealed that plasma traumatic acid intensity levels worked in a progressive fashion based on age and body size measurements. As a result, these findings could allow better detection of sarcopenia. Now you might be wondering, why traumatic acid? Well, this is a molecule that has been found to have such interesting applications, and so much more can be done in the near future. Natural products just like salicylic acid can come from almost anywhere. And if a willow tree bark could do it, so can the green bean.